Well, hey everyone, welcome. Healing Hands is now live. We will be going today over, of course, how to fix the emotional cracks in your foundation. What does that mean? That's a huge, huge, huge thing with all of us. And I'll give it a few minutes. I need to go on here to share because sharing is caring. And I need to, of course, share my own onto my page. So, I'm doing it now. And I do apologize. I tried to make it earlier. And I failed. Epic. It was failure. What ended up happening was I had Christmas stuff that I was doing. Excuse me. And I was shopping, and then I was wrapping, and it just was go, 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 go. So there, I've shared. Please don't forget, share, because sharing is caring. And hi. And so share it to your page. And this way, because this is how people learn to come in and join and become healthier. And that is by learning from us and learning that to heal, there's a step to it. There's a good step. And this is the step right here. And that is being here and learning about it. So if you share, people learn and then they come. So here we go. Hey. All right, so we're getting there. All right, so here, guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and start. And I worked on some information so that this way we can kind of discuss what it is that we're dealing with each day and healing ourselves. It's such a huge, huge, huge thing. And healing the cracks in our foundation is not just the littlest things. This is why I'm saying this may take a few weeks, probably about 3 is what I'm guesstimating. Don't hold me to that because it could take 4. We don't know, right? Okay. Do I sound good, guys? Someone tell me yes, I do, please. Everything sounds good? Okay. All right. So what is the process here? The process of change when trying to fix the cracks in our foundation, good, requires that you stop wearing blinders. You must be honest with yourself about who you are and why you do the things that you do. It's funny how we can often give an incisive psychological portrait of other people, yet we are frequently at pains to truly know ourselves. I'm asking you to be insightful into your own psyche as you are into others. So this is going to require you to step outside of the box, literally step outside of the box and see yourself and see the situations as they are. Okay? Tying to yourself is like having one big crack in your emotional foundation. You're in trouble before you can even get started. I've met people who've made a career out of deluding themselves, and as consequences, they never really accomplish what they wanted to do. By making excuses, blaming others, putting things off, and all the while telling themselves that they're not really doing the things that they are indeed doing. They have doomed themselves to failure. And that's why we're so apt that this will not happen with us. And this is why we're going to learn how to fix, because talk therapy is so important. And that's really what these sessions are going to be. They are kind of talk therapy. Unfortunately, I'm doing the talking because if you want to start doing talking, then that requires us to have a personal session, which I am available for. So we can set up some times. Now, an unwillingness to open up and to experience the discomfort, that kind of honesty is inevitably brings is huge barrier to success. So you want to get rid of that. You want to stop being unwilling to open up. You have to experience your pains, your discomfort. This process is all about self-discovery. And those who go through it change not only the behaviors that previously kept them from dramatically altering their body, but the behaviors that hampered their lives in other ways too. Sometimes what you find out about yourself is embarrassing. Sometimes it's painful. Sometimes it's just depressing. But when you have the hola moment, or is it Allah? Oh, that's why we've been doing that. You hear yourself, that's why I've been doing that. It can be very freeing. Imagine trying to fix a lamp that suddenly goes off without checking to see if the light bulb's burnt out. Your chances of getting the light back on aren't very high. Something's here. If you've tried to lose weight, for example, again and again without determining what is the fundamental cause in the problem, you're working in the dark. It's just not going to happen. You might lose the weight for a while, but before you know it, you're going to put it right back on. It's the same with smoking. If you're quitting smoking, you can't go ahead and say, oh, I just want to have one, just one, and I'll be fine. No, because then it's a cycle, and it becomes harder and harder and harder to quit each time. Hi, Nancy, Deborah, Jade, Rhonda. Now, the point of doing some honest self-exploration is not to beat yourself up about your shortcomings. Rather, it's to learn something that you didn't know about yourself. Or, if you did know it on some level, to officially admit it to yourself. When you make these discoveries, it's important not to just gloss over them. Don't just tell yourself, yeah, I guess I stopped walking after work, not because it was too late when I got home, but because I really preferred to watch Jeopardy. Pause and think more about that, okay? Do you really like Jeopardy? That much, or are you using it as an excuse? Are you just being lazy? Are you embarrassed to be seen fit walking around your neighborhood because you think it calls attention to your weight? Are you afraid that your significant other will be angry for you for taking the time to yourself? Do you simply have no energy? A problem that might be remedied by switching your workout to the morning. What's really going on, your assignment is to find out, replay decisions you've made, both good and bad, and analyze them. And this is just not in weight loss. I'm just using that as a key explanation. Because it's only you, only the way you're going to break ingrained unhealthy behavior patterns that is going to help you make a change. Again, be willing to open up and experience the discomfort inside you. Be honest with yourself. Remove those barriers. This process is about self-discovery, guys. Remember that. And those who go through this change not only feel that discomfort, but they can see the behavioral pattern they've been on and what they need to do to dramatically alter that and become healthier. Because we never know. Exactly. One leads to the other. And that is exactly. Okay. So this is just the basics, what we went over just now. I mean, that was just really of what we're getting ready to do. But here is where it's all going to be coming down to. And it is, as you've heard me say time and time again, it's owning your shit. It's a spoken badge of honor here. The suggestion is to openly tout a narrative around something that may have happened to you. And I get it. It's an empowering message. And it definitely beats what many of us have always done, which is suppressing our shit. Don't do that. Own it. It's yours. You've created it. You have, throughout your life, had this hiccup, per se, that you've just kind of been going on with and not making it change. So, knowing our crazy, and that is the part. Seriously, guys, knowing our crazy, it's a good thing. And this part of the message, I have no problem with. After all, it's like a spiritual constipation. So, owning your shit. I just think even this might lead to even more shit down the road. Sorry, we're dealing with a lot of shit today. Exactly, Stacy. Now, see our shit is just a narrative. That's what I'm using. Not to say it isn't real, but it's not made up either. This is how we humans are designed, to make up our own realities through a mechanism of thought. Okay, so, which is all fine and good. However, by taking ownership of these man-made thought forms, we tend to keep them rooted in reality. Yes, it's better than keeping our shit in the shadows, because when it's there, it just stinks. And we have no idea where the stench is coming from. Now, I know I've been going over a lot of owning it, but we own it. It's ours. So, but owning it, I don't know about you, but when my dog goes poop in the park and I cup it with a plastic bag in my palm, the last thing I want to do is put that poop back in my pocket and take it home. I toss that little baggie of love into the nearest trash can right away. So here's my suggestion. See your shit, but don't own it. You're setting yourself up for failure. Don't take it home with you and put it in your pantry, because every time you go in for peanut butter, it smells and it gets worse over time. See the shit for what it is, accept it, love it, bless it, and toss it. All right, guys, I know I'm talking a lot of shit. So, anyways, anyone want to add in before I go on? Because I'm getting ready to start talking about our weaknesses and strengths. So, what have you found in your life where you have not been owning what's been going on and you've made excuses? Do you see this in yourself? Can you see where someone has said, see, and I told you about that back when, and you just kind of pushed it off, and yeah, that's no good. Sorry, Stacy. Gotta love it. Okay, now we're gonna get in. All right. Just owning it, girl. You are. All right. Okay, so before I go into knowing your strengths and weaknesses, let's discuss what are. She did. First time someone broke me out laughing. That's awesome. But when I say owning your shit per se, and anyone who knows that I'm writing a book for based on a lesbian's guide to owning her shit, so it's actually quite comical. But we, joking aside, we have so much baggage in our life. And we take it. And we've done this over several sessions where things come with us over time. We brought it from our childhood. We've brought negative behaviors. We've allowed things to control us. And instead of getting rid of that baggage, we take it with us. And then we make excuses for it. And we make excuses for why people are doing this and people are doing that. And instead of owning our own, as we're probably the cause for it. So that's where it's starting to heal that foundation. Okay? And this is where you're going to need to know where it's real important. And that is, you have to know your strengths and you have to know your weaknesses. It's not unusual for people to compare themselves with others around them. And we all do, since childhood. She's got a nicer car, she's got a nicer house, she's got a round, well, you know. Anywho, but, and we feel like they're superior to us, or we feel inferior towards them based on their strengths and their weaknesses. The thing is, every individual is different, and we all function differently based on our personalities. It's important to know yourself and your capabilities. Your strengths are things that you can leverage on, things that you can push yourself further with. Acknowledge those strengths because you're going to need them, and that's how you're going to heal. So, on the other hand, your weaknesses, are they your downfall? Do you believe you being weak in some areas your downfall? Because you're really not. And what just happened here? Why did my phone throw me off of healing hands? Okay, guys, give me a second. I need to get back in here because this is how I look at your comments. No, why it threw me off? Here we go. So for some reason, when I have it on the computer, I can't see your comments. All right, so back here. All right, and now, do you really believe that your weaknesses, do you believe they are your downfall? Because if you have that mindset, then they're always going to be your downfall. We're all weak in something. Accept your strengths, but accept your weaknesses and know that, okay, I'm not good at everything. I mean, we're just not. These are areas that you can improve upon, though. It's not something that you lack. It's just something you need to develop and build on. In order to leverage your strengths and improve your weaknesses, you first need to know them. Okay? All right, so knowing your personal strengths, how do we do that? Well, your biggest personal strength would be something that comes very easily for you. Take some time and think about it. Remember how we discuss every time during meditation, clear your mind, and then afterwards you can make notes. Write down what you're good at. Write down what you think you're not good at and how we can build and fix that. Okay? Take some time and think about what comes naturally to you. It could be anything. For example, perhaps you have no problem having a conversation with people you meet for the very first time, or being able to think quick solutions in a tense environment. Some people are really good at it. They're good on their feet. Here's a simple exercise you can try. From the list of attributes, okay, pick 5 that represent you the most and arrange them in order, with number 5 being the one that represents you the least, and number 1 being which represents you the most. So your strengths will be 1, and what doesn't, will keep going and get larger and larger in numbers. Okay? Remember, don't choose attributes that you want to have. Choose those which really represent you, not things that you want. It has to be who you are now. You can choose more than 5 if you want to. Now that you have your list, you know what your biggest strengths are, so you can leverage them. And I'm going to put someone on the spot. Tell me, what is your biggest strength? Anyone can join in on that. I would love it, please. And remember, sharing is caring, guys. You have to share this. So please hit the share button to your timeline. All right, so Stacy, your biggest, well, you're an author. So your biggest ability is writing, creating, doing other types of creativity, correct? Deborah, yours is empathy. So you build on those. And don't be afraid, because those are the best things about you. I mean, as a person, to be empathic, where you give so willingly. And Stacy, believe it or not, that creativeness within you is amazing, because you touch so many people with that. You don't even realize how many people you touch regularly, because they read your stuff, and it's like in that moment they needed that. Maybe they needed to cry. Maybe they just needed that moment. So, and Jade, you have a beautiful outlook. So yeah, definitely. But you're also good at other things. What else are you good at? Tell me something you're good at. You're welcome. Besides just the way you see the world. Parenting, that's a good one, definitely. Because we are building the future of tomorrow in our children. There you go. And that's great, because you make people happy. There you go, Jade. So you do really good at that, and that brings people to causes that are needed. I don't think I could pick one thing on myself, so I know it's not easy. I mean, I'm an author. I write. I do Healing Hands. I do a lot of life coaching. But I love it all. So, and they're all strengths. And parenting, yeah, I have a child of the corn. So, okay, now let's get to know weaknesses. This is where it's going to get interesting. It's equally important that you know your weaknesses as much as knowing your strengths. Your weaknesses hold you back from achieving many great things. Weaknesses are areas that have the power to improve. It can be anything ranging from professional to social skills. Similar to exercises you did earlier by picking 5 attributes from the list or from your strengths. And you can't see the list. I'm sorry. It would have took too long to read it all off. Your similarities to the exercise. You just pick 5 attributes that are your weaknesses, which you believe represent you, with number 5 being the least likely as you and 1 being the most. Okay, now you have a list of some of your weaknesses and you can begin to address them. So exercise like the 2 you just did at very basic. So keep it simple until you get really good at this. Okay, and then you can elaborate more with other tests, and I do have some handouts if you choose to ask for them. I'll be happy to get them to you. There's many more elaborate tests that you can take to find out about your strengths and your weaknesses more in depth as well. And that's really good. You can do, oh my goodness, you can go to do an aptitude test. There's one online, and I can get you that link as well. I'd be happy to. It's the test that I like. It's designed with simple, straight-to-the-point questions. So it really helps. Now, why should you want to know your strengths and weaknesses? Hey, Heather, how are you? Thank you. Well, knowing your own strengths and weaknesses gives you a better understanding of yourself and how you function. Understanding your strengths keep you ahead in a lot of things. For instance, if you're looking at career options, you'd want to be able to narrow down specific job scopes based on the things that you know you are good at, right? You're not going to go apply for a job where you're setting yourself up for failure that you know nothing about. I'm glad, Heather. That warms my heart. Thank you. Now, it also helps you grow more. Knowing what you can excel at enables you to aim higher and achieve much more. Knowing your weaknesses gives you a clearer understanding of things that may be holding you back. And you can then work around finding ways to not let your weaknesses pull you behind. Okay? There's a site that another one for that one, which is great, and that will help for self-awareness. Well, and you know something we do need. Exactly, and you do. But you have to be able to work on yourself, because remember, you're not always going to have people that are going to give you that validation. And it could be very debilitating, people, when they're validating you, because sometimes you're not getting what you need. So, but yeah, we all need that. It's called ego scrubbing, rubbing. Now, let's focus on strengths or work on weaknesses. Okay? Many people ask if it's more worth their time to just focus on the strengths or work on improving weaknesses. Generally, it would be better to focus on your strengths. These are the things you're already good at doing. So you don't need to invest much of your time and effort into it. Focus on your strength is about seeking opportunity instead of problems. Instead of focusing on the negatives, focus on your energy. Focus your energy on the things that you're good at. Focus on things that you are weak at, decreasing your self-confidence and enthusiasm and overall performance. Usually, not much is achieved by trying to fix one weakness. Okay? Having said that, working on your weaknesses is still important as attributes to personal growth. So I'm kind of contradicting myself here, because I want you to realize that to become strong, you need to focus in on what you're good at, acknowledge it, run with it. You don't have to fix those things because you're already good at it. So you're going to just start slowly and focus on those weak and things that may be hurting your self-confidence or your enthusiasm, things that would just really hit your performance. Now, when you have something that you're not good at improving, it eventually slightly can make huge change in your overall performance. So don't try to fix it or get rid of your weakness. It won't work. Instead, work around the weakness. So sometimes, no matter how much we try to fix something, we can't, because we're just not strong in it. It's like being a mathematician. I'm sorry. I used to tell my professor, I'm not a mathematician. Why do I have to take all this college algebra and trigonometry and all this? Bleh. Just not me. It's not who I am. So, and I had to work around it, as you have to work around what you are weak at. So just find ways where they don't hinder you or stand in your way. For example, let's see, if you have an event to plan, you know you need posters for it, and you're not artistically creative, but you're excellent at coordinating. Use your strengths there. Get a team, design the posters, and coordinate with them to ensure that it gets done, what you want to get done. See, you're using your strength to create something you're weak at. I believe that it's equally important to understand both your strengths and weaknesses, and it's essential for self-development and personal growth. There's a lot of wonderful things that you can achieve if you know your true potential and the things you're capable of doing. Any feedback, guys? I'd love some feedback. We're a half an hour into today's session. And I'm going to get something to drink while you're thinking about that. And remember, Karen is sharing. Journaling is really good, Stacy. Oh, yeah, definitely. I journal. And it's the best thing that'll help you with especially validating things that you have going on and things that you're writing. So, and things that you're trying to work on and improve and all that really good stuff, you know. But, okay. Here we go. How to recognize your biggest weakness as a leader and why you should. Okay? Let's say you're starting your own business or leading a team. You have some level of confidence in your ability. I agree, Stacy, totally. And weaknesses are stubborn, Heather. And you have to accept, you know that one serenity prayer? It's change what you can, accept what you cannot. I've gone over the fact that never limit yourself. Don't tell yourself you can't do something. However, if it is a weak point, and like we discussed about doing math, and it's not your thing, well, you're never going to be strong in it. That would be like taking somebody who has a reading disorder and expecting them to excel at reading out loud to people. They can't do it. So, but back to, if you're going to be starting a business, naturally you're going to gravitate towards your strength in those areas. So, however, it's also important to recognize your weaknesses, remember, as a leader, because you can't improve and help other people if you can't step outside your box and see it for what it is. And again, that means owning your shit. If you do, you can learn to make things up for them. If you don't, you become even more vulnerable to their damaging effects. So, why does weakness matter? Why is it so important to recognize your own weaknesses? For starters, it gives you something to work up on. Like, say, for example, in chess. If you're good at the end game strategies, but your middle game is weak, you won't get any better unless you specifically target the mid-game strategies to improve. While it's true that specialization is often better than generalization for a team of people, when it comes to leaders, you need to be well-rounded. Not everyone here is going to be a leader as far as that's looking to get into their own company. But if you are, that's something you really need to consider. That you need to be able to work around things, work with people, work around your own weaknesses so that you can work with them. Know your strengths so that you can help them. Okay? All right. Now, let me see here. I think I have an exercise that we could probably do today. No, I think I'm going to leave that till next week. How about we go over recognizing our shortcomings? That's a big thing, and that's a huge crack in our foundation, guys. And that is having our shortcomings and recognizing that we have them. Shortcomings seem like a bad thing. It's a character flaw, perhaps. Short. Before a word means inadequate, short-sighted, short-lived, short-drift. However, there's another way to think about shortcomings. They are the natural complement to your skills. For example, as a leader, you have a vision or a view of the way the future could be. How many of you are visionaries? You know, Deborah, I am so glad you said that, because if that is a weakness, then that's something you may not be able to prevent it. You may want to work around it. And that is saying no. Being comfortable with the word no. Tell me no right now. If I tell you I want you to go out and scream at the top of your lungs outside your window, would you do that? Or would you tell me no? Put up that stop sign. Tell me no. Tell them no. Boundaries are really hard, especially if they're kids. But now if they're adults and people that intimidate you in some way, or there you go, see, you're capable of saying that word. But it's hard, and I understand, because you have a lot of empathy. You're an empathic, so you want to help, and that's the person, that's your nature. Sometimes we have to step back, and this is what you'll need to do for you, and that is step back and don't let them control you like that. You are giving up your control the second you're letting them walk over you and not setting those boundaries. So you'd really want to go ahead and just step back and take back your control. Right, and that's what we were discussing earlier, Christine, and that is that she needs to go ahead and make that list. Because if this is your weakness, this is what you're going to work with. Exactly, Stacy. And you can work with that, because that is a weakness. I used to be that way. I'm guilty as charged. Oh my God, people used to walk all over me, and I let them. I don't know why I did. Maybe it was acceptance. I was younger, so that makes a huge difference for me. But that's not for everybody. And people walked all over me, and I was always I'd be told, you're just too nice. I still get told that all the time. You're just too nice. But I don't let people walk all over me anymore. And it's because you have to set personal boundaries for yourself. And that is such a big thing. And what do we got? And yeah, fear of failing. Oh, and with you being a writer, especially, Stacy. I mean, what is the biggest thing we fear? But fear is, you fear fear. You fear, stand up to fear and don't let it. Just do it. Put yourself out there. What kind of rejection are you scared of? As long as you're not becoming professional mostly, okay. I think rejection is a big thing with all of us. I mean, think about it. None of us want to be rejected. We want to be accepted in everything we do. And we have to face the fact that not everybody is going to find what we want professionally or emotionally, that are going to see us as we are and say, you're brilliant. They don't see it. And if you're aware that is something that does bother you, then when you walk into the face of that situation, you hold your head up. Don't show the fear. Yeah. I think mine's more emotional because otherwise I don't think I fear much as far as rejection wise. But I guess I could. I haven't been in a situation where I've had to, but that could be for me and as well. And the only advice I can give is, yeah, abandonment will do it. Yeah, exactly, Deborah. Exactly. That's perfect. Fake it till you make it. I mean, you have to hold your head high. You have to don't allow fear to control you. Don't allow the situation to control you. You can walk into that situation, your head's held high, you're smiling, you're confident. Inside, you're probably crumbling, but don't let those around you see it. Stay and keep your emotions in control. And this goes back to one of our earlier sessions. Remember, what do? You get up in the morning, exercise. If you don't exercise, then you need to meditate. Learn some breathing techniques. And if you're getting ready to go into a situation that is frightful, what you do 20 minutes before you go into that situation, like let's say you're going for a job interview, Stacy, and you're sitting in your car. I would recommend that you meditate prior. Just sit in your car before you have to go in and meditate and just block out all of the negative. You will feel this tingling overcome you. It's such an amazing feeling when you get in tune with yourself that way, and it's a peace that you start to feel. And when you walk into that situation, you're calm and you keep that mindset. And so it's the same as what Deborah said, fake it until you make it. It's the same thing, but you're doing it and you're calm. Mine tried to stop earlier, Jade, so everyone's still seeing me. Oh, okay. You're not denying your true self by faking it, because sometimes we have to walk into a situation and show no fear. Now, if you're with your partner and you're faking something, I'm not even going to say what it is because I don't know. I talk a lot on here, so yeah. But anyways, yeah, that would be bad. But we all put on a face. Do you not realize how many faces you have each day? I'm going to tell you, you have a mom face if you're a parent. You have that, all of a sudden, this mom face. Then you go into work and you're putting on a work face. You have so many different faces that we wear each day. How are you faking it? There's no faking to that because you can't wear the same face through each interaction you're having because you're addressing that situation differently. So here you go. Professional. You're going into a job interview. You're scared senseless. Do your breathing techniques. Calm yourself down. If you're terrified inside, fake it. And that just means put that face on. And then you can fall apart when you leave. Or sit down and breathe. Okay, so it is. See, and Facebook kicked me off too. So I'm wondering if it's Facebook. It just kicked me off of the phone one a little while ago. So that's probably what it is. Let's see. We were going over shortcomings, and I was kind of hitting you down with that. So kind of doing a spin-off of what we're doing. Remember, your shortcomings, and even when you have to put on that different face, it's a compliment to who you are. It really is. It's a compliment to your future. It's it's opening your path. It's complementing your skills. For example, you have a vision of what the future could be. So you're going to have that mindset. And it's a mindset is really what it is. You see future down the road that then you may be seeing something different than other people do. And you're in that mindset. You're a futuristic person. You're not living in the moment. I mean, we have so many different personalities. Some people live in the moment. They stop and they smell the flowers every day, every second of the day. Right now. And then you have people who are futuristic. They're always planning. I'm a planner. I'm a futuristic person. I don't stop and smell the roses. And I don't. I probably miss out on a lot of things because of that. But anyways, you see future down the road. It's things that you want, which we all see that. So in some aspect you are, even though you do live in the moment, you do see that you want things. And just relish those details. And be oriented. And just if you have to sometimes, slow down because you don't want to skip steps or move too quickly. Because that is a shortcoming. And that's where mine comes. Because I'm always ready to barrel through things. I mean, I'm ready. Gung-ho. I've had to learn, and this has been my own personal battle, I've had to learn to tell myself, slow down, back up. I don't need to be in such a hurry to do everything. And that was on my list. So that was in my personal growth that I was doing with the list we were discussing. See, and that's great, Heather. That's awesome, Stacy. Yeah, U-Haul should go out of business. They really should. They're bad people. They're giving. Yeah, she did. That was awesome. No U-Hauling. No U-Hauling. Tell her, if you're asking for a friend, tell her to lose U-Haul's phone number. Take that off her speed dial. And smell the roses. And get to know her. Get to know the person she's wanting to be with. Okay, wow. That was awesome. Thanks. It's good that we're having a funny one. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to try to get one-sided here, back on track. We have, 12 more minutes. Don't hide your shortcomings. And I like that you're doing that because you just showed some really strong strengths, Stacy. That's awesome because you have a great sense of humor. Rather than hide your shortcomings, you should recognize them and then work around them through other people and the process. So if someone tells you, well, you could have did this or you could have did that, and then you're kind of like, whatever. The 5th date? Oh, honey. Oh, no. Maybe the 5th, 6th month we can discuss spending the night on a regular basis. But no. That's a shortcoming I'd rather not have. Thank you. Oh, man. Women in U-Hauls. Oh, my God. Okay, so what we'll do is I'll pick up work next Sunday. It's great. No, it's awesome. This is perfect. This is what I'll do next Sunday because, as I said, this is going to take quite a bit of time. So we are going to next Sunday we'll start off with 7 ways to cope with your shortcomings. Just different ways to cope with it. And that'll help with that. So let's go back into having our last little bit. And sharing's caring, guys. Please share. That's how people learn about me and how I'm able to help so many people and how we can have laughs like this and get together, because it's pretty awesome. Don't you agree? So, and we will also go over how to recognize personal faults and make changes. Oh, thank you, Deborah. And we will also study how to recognize your personal faults, to become aware within your speech patterns, your listening patterns, and how to change them, and being brave and understand the outcome of everything that you need, and the importance of finding and facing your weaknesses. So we're really going to deal with the weaknesses next week. That's going to be our big thing. And next week is when I would like to go ahead, for all those that are joining, I have an exercise, and it's called Shortcomings, and I can send that. It's in a PDF, and I'll be more than happy to share that with you. And you can do these exercises for next week. And if you're interested, let me know, because I will go ahead and I will include that in a message to each of you. Just go ahead and send me a PM on Healing Hands here, and just say, hey, I'd really like that, and I'll be happy if you can send that. Go ahead and email me. Send me a PM, Deborah, on Healing Hands, and I will definitely send that. Okay. Yep. Send me, please. Go ahead and send me a PM on here. That way I can just respond to you. Okay, well, there you go. Inbox me. That almost sounds dirty, doesn't it? Yeah. All right, all that talking to friggin' U-Haul. So, all right. So, I'll go ahead and, as soon as we're over today, I'll go ahead and get those, because I have it available. Now, what I'd like to go over too, let's see here. We went over owning your shit. That was great. I love owning shit. And let's not talk about peanut butter again. Since she won't eat peanut butter now because of me. Sorry. I put the doggy poop with the peanut butter. If we have time, we will start at the end of next week's session. We will start with accepting responsibility for our actions. So that will definitely be a next week, and probably towards the end of it. And the consequences of not saying sorry. And that's a big thing too, because some people don't know how to use that verbiage, and it's bad because it ends up hurting them because they don't. And then the next Sunday, we're going to deal with building and repairing trust to sustaining relationships. And that will help with healing that personal foundation in ourselves, because we have to trust ourselves to allow other people in. Oh, you missed the peanut butter thing, Heather. Yeah, you have to go back and listen. Sorry, I'm not repeating it. Poor Heather. I think I scarred her for life. Oh, yeah. I think I scarred her. Okay. And there we go. Also, we're going to be dealing with, on the 3rd week, no excuses. And that will probably run into our 4th week, because this foundation healing is so huge, guys. It's not the basic. We've been dealing with resentment, how to overcome that. We discussed the peeling back the layers so we can let people in. We've dealt with, oh my goodness, vulnerability. I mean, we've all that leads up. All of that is part of healing us. But the nice thing about doing this is, if you're finding that something's working for you when we're discussing this and you need help in an area, that's where you can contact me for an individual session. But in the meantime, we're on here and we're having fun too doing this. And we're learning and we're healing together, because life is hard. It's really hard, especially for women. So, and I'm sure we haven't had any men come on here. I guess they don't want any healing, but it's only been us women lately, and that's okay too. Aw, thank you for the hearts, whoever sent the hearts. Yeah. Okay, so we have 4 minutes left, and so we're almost done. Exactly, Heather. So what I'm going to suggest is I'm going to send you that worksheet, and that'll help. And like I said, make sure you PM me so that I know to send that to you. And then what I want you to go ahead and do is work that. And then next Sunday, we're going to shoot for 5 next Sunday. That was supposed to be 5 today, but as long as there's no hiccups. So it'll be 5 o'clock, or it'll be back to 6. Yeah, definitely. Definitely, Heather. And so have that with you, and we can discuss what your outcomes was. Maybe there's something you want to hit on personally, because we can do that. Okay? All right, guys. I think we're a wrap today. It's been fantastic. I enjoy you guys as always. And I look forward to seeing you next Sunday. And we will definitely pick up where we left off. Y'all have a great night. See, I'll send those to you and talk to you soon. You're welcome, Jade. Thank you.